Hello? Someone there? Hey, come on up here. Don't mind me, I'm just doodling a little bit. Yep. Just found the sketchbook and I started messing around some. Oh, sorry. Give me a moment. Let me get this out of the way. Here we go. There we go. Hi. It's a pleasure to meet you. I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm DrawgonBloom. But you can just call me Drawgon for short. A little bit about myself. I have a bit of a fascination with creatures and stories. Hey, speaking of stories though, would you like to hear one? There's one I would very much like to share, if that's okay. So if you got the time, stay a while and lend me your ear. Get a little bit closer. There you go. Oh, goodness. I've had a bit of a day. Been all over the place. So please excuse me if I ramble a little bit during this story. But I'll try and keep it short and not waste too much of your time. Anyway, you see, I love stories. I have quite the passion for stories and creatures of all kinds. And some of the stories I cherish the most are ones that are shared with me by people that I've met along my journey. And because I've met quite a few people, I've been very fortunate to make many friends. And this particular story that I'd like to share today is from one of those friends. It's his story. Long ago, in a world far away from this one, I was fortunate enough to meet a very jovial, just happy-go-lucky, friendly sort of man. He was so funny. He still is. And is such a gentle soul. And a lot of people, they really admired him, for just how friendly and funny he was. He had a great sense of humor. Still does. But that's not the only thing people admired about him. And that's what this story is about. It's about this one part of this one man's life. So, get comfy. Maybe have a drink if you got one. Some nice hot tea, milk, or a cup of hot cocoa. Oh, that'd be good. That sounds really good right about now, I'm going to be honest. I may get me some after this. Let's, we'll see. We'll see. Sorry, I'm rambling again. But anyway, he was a friendly sort. Very happy-go-lucky and hilarious. And people really, really respected him. They admired him. But one thing in particular they especially admired about him, one thing, was that, to put it bluntly, there were quite a few individuals that very much admired his physique. Oh, and I grabbed my book. Go over there, book. Oops. Anyway. His physique. I did it again. Book, I'm trying to tell a story. Please. We'll draw again in a little bit. Be patient. I'm trying to be respectful to our guest. Good book. Good book. Okay. Where was I? Right. They admired his physique. Because you see, my friend, he took very good care of himself. He still does. What he would do is, he knew how to eat right and healthily, and he did that. But every morning, he would begin his workout routine, and he would take very good care of his body. He was very fit, and a lot of people really admired that. I remember many folks coming to him all the time, asking him for, saying things like, "Oh, oh, I wish I looked like you, like, oh, like, I wish I was like super fit and I look real good, and he would have a chuckle. He was very respectful and whatnot, but he was very humble, and he would have a bit of a chuckle because he didn't think, himself to be, you know, all that much of a looker. I don't suppose, or maybe I'm wrong about that, but like. He would have like a bit of a chuckle about that because he was flattered is mainly what it was. And he would crack little jokes about himself and things and whatnot, and he would thank them for their kindness. But they would always ask him, how did he do it? And what's his routine? What does he do to get in such good shape? Well, he would then share what he knew. He would gladly share. He ate right, as right as what he knew how to, and he would exercise. And I believe he did so, yeah, every day. That's right. Every day. He would do it in the mornings. One of the very first things he ever did was he worked out in the morning. He got it out of the way, and he did it. He knuckled down and got it done every morning. I admired his dedication. A lot of people did. Well, a lot of these people, they took his advice. And they also tried to follow aspects of his routine and take his advice and create routines of their own. And sadly, many of them weren't capable of actually sticking to the routines they had set forth for themselves, they put together for themselves, sorry. And, they would try though, and that's great. One night, me and my friend found ourselves with a moment to just chat and catch up, and we were just we were having a good time. He was funny as always and just splendid company. Good-hearted man. Well, at one point our conversation found its way on the topic of these people who constantly, or often enough, would ask him for advice about how he got in such good shape and what does he do in his routine and such. And we were having a conversation about this. And, I said something at one point that sparked a very strong reaction in him from deep within who he is as a person. So, we were chatting about this and that in life, and we got onto that topic, and I then said that, I do feel for them though. They try to get, to better themselves, and they try to set forth this routine, and none of them seem to stick with it, and I feel for them because doing that is hard. It's difficult, to set forth a healthy routine for yourself and then to stick with it. And it's difficult. It's hard. I felt for them. But, some days you just don't feel like doing it, so it's understandable. Some days you just don't feel like it. And that right there, that sparked a reaction from him from deep within who he was as a person. And for the first time, I heard my good friend, he dropped his jovial, silly, goofy demeanor, and he looked at me and he said in the most honest and sincere tone of voice I have ever heard come out from him. He looked at me and he said, "It doesn't matter if I don't feel like it. I'm going to do it." I had never heard or seen him be so sincere or serious about anything like that before. And that told me there was a lot more to this story than what anybody ever knew. I brought up his change in demeanor and tone with him, and I inquired if there was more that none of us knew. He then told me his story. He said, long ago, many years before him and I ever met, he was quite the different man. Not very much, not the person that we knew today. You see, he had a lot of issues that he didn't know about himself until one day those problems made themselves very known. And that scared him. It scared him to his core, and it woke him up to the reality of how he was living his life. So ever since that day, he made a promise to himself that he was going to work real hard to take care of himself. Oh, grab my book again. In a moment, book. It's okay, I'm sorry, you have to wait. We're almost done. So, once he shared that with me, my respect for him, which I already had great respect for who he was as a person, but it grew tenfold that day. I didn't just admire his dedication to his routine and to take care of himself. What I respected was that this man was going to do everything he could to protect the precious life that he was given. And he stuck to it. He did. And things got worlds better for him, but it was hard. It's always difficult. But he did it. He became a heck of a lot happier for it too. And that's the end of my story. You take from it what you will. For me, that man now holds a place in my heart as a shining example of someone who is determined to do what is right for himself, even when it isn't easy. He's willing to get himself out of bed in the morning and go and tackle one of the hardest tasks and to try and make sure he does it every day. He's living up to that promise he made to himself. I find that very respectable. Inspiring, even. So, I guess, schedule to do something really good for yourself. Something really healthy. Something that you know might not be easy, but it will better your life. Cherish what you have and respect others along the way, because they have their struggles too, just like you, just like all of us. My friend showed that he can make these lifestyle changes for the long haul. You can too. Well, anyway, enough of my rambling. Thank you for listening, though. I appreciate it. I like sharing the stories that I know. It's fun to learn. It's fun to learn, like, the stories of all the others that I meet along the way. And it's fun to share them. I think there's a lot of knowledge to be learned from one another. Let my friend's story inspire you to live a healthier life for yourself. Same as it does for me. Anyway, thanks for lending this old cat. Thanks for lending this old cat your ear for a moment. And I hope that you take care of yourself too. And that you're determined to do so. Just like my good friend does. You can do it too. Till then, I hope I get to chat with you another day. But you take care. Bye-bye. Don't be a stranger now. Oh, right, book. Sorry. Where were we?